Imagine this. You spend 40 years building one of the most successful companies in the world. Every morning begins before sunrise. Every decision carries enormous risk. You sacrifice weekends, holidays, relationships, and countless nights of sleep. Slowly, the impossible becomes possible. $1 million turns into 10. 10 becomes 100. Eventually, the number is so large that it no longer feels real. You own private jets, luxury homes across continents, art collections worth more than entire neighborhoods, companies that employ hundreds of thousands of people. You've achieved what billions of people only dream about. Then, something unexpected happens. Instead of protecting every dollar you've earned, you begin giving it away. Not a few $1,000s, not even a few million, billions. Enough to change entire countries, enough to build hospitals, fund universities, fight disease, support scientific research, provide scholarships, protect forests, advance medical discoveries. Why? That question has fascinated economists, historians, and psychologists for decades, because on the surface, it seems to contradict everything we think we know about success. After all, if someone spent most of their life accumulating wealth, why would they suddenly start giving so much of it away? The obvious answer is generosity, and in many cases, generosity is certainly part of the story. But human behavior is rarely explained by a single reason. The deeper psychologists study human motivation, the more they discover something surprising. People don't simply change their bank accounts when they become extraordinarily successful. Sometimes their priorities begin to change too, and that shift may explain more than the money itself. Think about the last time you desperately wanted something. Maybe it was your dream phone, your first car, admission into your dream school, a promotion, or a business milestone. For weeks, maybe months, that goal occupied your thoughts. You imagined how happy you'd be once you finally had it. Then, it happened. At first, the excitement was overwhelming, but eventually, that excitement faded. Not because the achievement wasn't real, but because your brain adapted. Psychologists have spent decades studying this phenomenon. It has a name: hedonic adaptation. It's the reason why yesterday's dream often becomes today's normal. Now imagine that process happening, not with a phone, not with a car, but with billions of dollars. Consider one of the most famous examples in modern philanthropy. Bill Gates spent decades helping build one of the world's most valuable technology companies. Later, he shifted much of his attention toward global health, education, vaccines, and disease prevention through large-scale philanthropy. Or take Warren Buffett. Despite becoming one of the wealthiest investors in history, he publicly pledged to donate the vast majority of his fortune to charitable causes rather than keep it within his family. Then there's Mackenzie Scott. Instead of creating long application processes, she has donated billions to thousands of organizations, often allowing them to decide how the money should be used. Each story looks different. Each approach is different. Each person supports different causes. So here's the puzzle. If their giving looks so different, could their motivations be different too? The answer is almost certainly yes, which brings us to something psychologists have known for a long time. Money changes your circumstances, but it doesn't stop your mind from asking difficult questions. In fact, it may create entirely new ones. Imagine standing on top of the highest mountain in the world. For years, every step you've taken has been aimed at reaching the summit. You finally get there. The view is breathtaking. But after the celebration fades, a quiet thought begins to appear. Where do I climb next? That question may be one of the most important in this entire documentary, because the answer has almost nothing to do with money and almost everything to do with being human. In the next chapter, we'll explore why achieving extraordinary success can create a psychological vacuum and why many people begin searching for something wealth alone cannot provide.
Money changes your life. It changes where you live, how you travel, what you can buy, the opportunities available to you. But one thing it doesn't change is the way your brain adapts. Psychologists have observed this pattern for decades. The first major achievement feels unforgettable. The second is exciting. The third becomes expected. Eventually, what once seemed extraordinary becomes ordinary. This isn't a flaw in human nature, it's how our minds are designed. If we remained equally excited by every achievement forever, we'd stop striving for new goals. Instead, our brains continually adjust our expectations. It's one of the reasons human civilization has advanced so quickly, but it's also why success can quietly become unsatisfying. Imagine buying your dream house. For months, you're amazed every time you walk through the front door. Every room feels special. Every detail reminds you that you've made it. Then, 6 months pass. You stop noticing the marble floors, the infinity pool, the breathtaking view. The extraordinary has become familiar. Now, multiply that feeling by 1,000. Imagine you've achieved every financial goal you ever set for yourself. You've built companies worth billions. You've acquired more wealth than your family could realistically spend over several generations. What's left to chase? For many people, this is where a new kind of ambition begins. Not the ambition to earn more, but the ambition to matter more. Researchers have long explored the idea that once people's basic needs are met, many begin focusing on higher-order goals, such as purpose, contribution, relationships, and personal fulfillment. One of the most influential frameworks associated with this idea is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. While modern psychologists continue to debate and refine the model, one insight has remained remarkably influential. Once survival is no longer the challenge, meaning often becomes the next frontier. Think about that for a moment. For most of human history, people fought to survive: food, shelter, safety, security. But if those needs are fully satisfied, the questions begin to change. Instead of asking, "How do I survive?" people begin asking, "Why am I here?" That question isn't unique to billionaires. Olympic athletes often struggle after winning gold. Actors sometimes describe feeling lost after receiving the industry's highest awards. Entrepreneurs who've spent decades building companies frequently speak about the unexpected emptiness that follows a successful exit. The finish line they spent years chasing suddenly disappears. Psychologists sometimes call this the arrival fallacy, the mistaken belief that achieving one major goal will permanently satisfy us. For a while, it does. Then, life asks another question. Now what? Look closely at some of the world's largest philanthropic efforts. Michael Bloomberg has supported initiatives in public health, education, climate action, and the arts. Azim Premji has devoted a significant portion of his wealth to improving education and strengthening charitable institutions. Chuck Feeney became famous for giving quietly, often preferring anonymity over recognition. His philosophy of giving while living encouraged using wealth during one's lifetime rather than leaving it untouched. These examples don't tell us what any individual was thinking. Only they know that. But they do show something remarkable. Once enormous wealth is accumulated, many people begin directing their attention outward rather than inward, towards problems larger than themselves. Imagine you're sitting in a room with a blank sheet of paper. Across the top, someone writes one question. If money were no longer a problem, What problem would you choose to solve? There isn't one correct answer. Some would choose education, others would choose disease research. Some would focus on clean water, others on climate, technology, or poverty. The answer reveals something deeper than financial success. It reveals values. And values often become more visible when survival is no longer demanding all of our attention. There's another psychological concept worth considering, not because it explains everyone, but because it helps explain many people. Psychologists refer to it as generativity. Generativity is the desire to contribute to future generations, to create something that outlives you. It could be raising children, mentoring younger people, building institutions, supporting scientific research, funding scholarships, creating opportunities for people you'll never meet. It's the feeling that your life should leave the world a little better than you found it. Importantly, generativity isn't limited to wealthy people. Teachers experience it, parents experience it, volunteers experience it, community leaders experience it. The difference is that extraordinary wealth can dramatically expand the scale at which someone is able to act on that desire. A parent may change one family's future. A scholarship may change thousands. A medical breakthrough may improve millions of lives. The underlying psychological impulse can be similar. The resources simply change what's possible. But if purpose explains philanthropy, why do different billionaires support completely different causes? Why does one fund medical research while another focuses on education and another invests in environmental conservation? The answer lies in something even more personal than purpose. It lies in identity, because the causes people choose often reflect the experiences, beliefs, and values that have shaped their lives. And once we understand identity, an even bigger piece of the puzzle begins to fall into place. In Part 3, we'll explore how legacy, identity, and the desire to be remembered may influence one of the biggest decisions a person can ever make, not just how they earn their fortune, but what they ultimately choose to do with it. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine it's 100 years from now. Everyone you've ever known is gone. Your house no longer belongs to your family. Your bank account no longer exists. Your car, your clothes, your investments, they've all become someone else's. Now, ask yourself one question. What remains? It's a question every human being eventually faces, not just billionaires, all of us. Because money can buy comfort, it can't buy permanence. And perhaps that's why so many people begin thinking differently once they've achieved extraordinary success. Not because they've stopped caring about wealth, but because they've started caring about something wealth alone can never guarantee: being remembered. Throughout history, some of the names we still recognize today weren't remembered because they were the richest people of their time. They're remembered because they built something that outlived them. Libraries, universities, hospitals, scientific discoveries, works of art, ideas, movements. Long after the people themselves disappeared, their contributions remained. Psychologists sometimes describe this desire as symbolic immortality, not living forever in a literal sense, but leaving behind something that continues after your life ends. A teacher experiences it through students, a scientist through discoveries, an artist through their work, a parent through their children. And for some wealthy individuals, philanthropy may become one way they express that same deeply human desire, to leave the world different than they found it. That doesn't mean every act of giving comes from the same place. Some people give publicly, others quietly. Some focus on education, others on healthcare, climate research, scientific discovery, local communities, global challenges. Different people, different experiences, different values, different priorities. And psychology suggests that's exactly what we should expect, because no two human stories are identical. So now think back to the beginning of this documentary. We asked a simple question: why do some billionaires donate billions of dollars?
Maybe you expected one hidden answer, one secret, one psychological trick. Instead, we found something more interesting. There isn't one universal explanation, and perhaps that's the biggest lesson of all. Human beings rarely make life's biggest decisions for just one reason. We're influenced by our experiences, our values, our relationships, our beliefs, our goals, our hopes, sometimes even by events that happened decades earlier. The human mind is layered, and that's what makes it so fascinating. So maybe the real mystery isn't why some wealthy people choose to give. Maybe the mystery is why all of us, regardless of wealth, want our lives to matter. A teacher hopes students remember the lessons they shared. A parent hopes their children carry forward their values. An artist hopes their work inspires someone they've never met. A scientist hopes a discovery helps future generations. And for some people with extraordinary resources, philanthropy becomes one way of expressing that same timeless desire, to leave the world different than they found it. That idea changes the conversation. Instead of asking, how much is enough, maybe we should ask, enough for what? Because wealth is a tool. What matters is how people choose to use it. And meaning is something no amount of money can simply purchase.